dear friends, here we are with another study of one of the chapters of the book Courage by these various spirits through the mediumship of Francisco Cândido Xavier. What a blessing we can be here today. Today's message is from the Spirit Emmanuel. This book was first published in 1971 or 72. The preface is dated, as we saw last time, of August 1st, 1971. And the first message is from Emmanuel. And Emmanuel is going to talk to you and I today in this beautiful Thursday morning about tedium, things that happen to you and I. Sometimes in our lives we feel bored. Our children might tell us, Mom, Dad, I'm bored. So he's going to give us a wonderful recipe for when tedium appears. That's the name of this chapter. Shall we? Chapter 1, When Tedium Appears, by the Spirit Emmanuel. He says, when despondency threatens you, think about others, about those who do not have time to entertain the aspects of life, the idea of tedium. This chapter is a call to service. After all, the law is of love, justice, and charity. It's not of love, justice, love, and enjoy yourselves. It's about charity. It's about looking. It says, think about others. A lot of the problems we have in society today would be more easily solved if we looked outside to where there is need, instead of thinking, how can I get my things for myself, for my family, etc. Wonderful day to start our Thursday. Yes, it's tough. We have to call it what it is, and we have to be courageous to swim against the grain, to swim against the tide, where everybody else says, are you bored? One more Netflix series, nothing against Netflix. One more YouTube video, one more Instagram post, one more meal, one more vacation, one more activity. He's saying, no, when tedium appears, when despondency threatens you, think about others. Those who are so busy trying to get the minimum to be able to live on this planet, they don't have time to be bored. He says, if you believe yourself suffering too severe lessons in the school of life, pay some attention from time to time to the much other major probations around you, where apprentices are wasting their times in classless weeping. Many major probations around us. There are folks around us who lose loved ones every day of many different diseases. There are folks who are struggling to have shelter. There's people who are struggling from trauma of all sorts, who experience homelessness, who experience abuse and assault of all kinds, who are mentally and emotionally imbalanced, who suffer from obsessions. Those are all people who Emmanuel is inviting us to look for and find ways of helping them. And the biggest epidemic of our time is of mental illness and despair, suicide, loneliness, as well as the regular pandemics of viruses that we see from time to time in our population. He will continue. Many of them lie on the street, those facing major probations. Remember, the world we live in is of trials and expiations, and we are yet imperfect spirits. 99% of us are spirits who are here to redress mistakes of the past, to learn and to grow, as well as to learn to love. So this could happen to any of us. Many of them lie on the street with outstretched hands to those who hurriedly pass by. The majority are ill who the new social order has thrown away, or despairing mothers who, because of the need for care for their babies, are not permitted choices to work. These are all unhoused population, those who sometimes at the margins, who are just looking for the to be seen, to survive, or surviving and end up without in a situation where they are on the streets. It could be any of us. It could also have been any of us in previous lives. So he's saying, look out, see what we can find, what we can do for them. Many spiritual centers do provide food for the needy. Here in Richmond, in the spiritual side of Richmond, we volunteer with the elderly, which is one of the paragraphs that Emmanuel is going to bring to us. He says, probably some will say that amongst them you will find some opportunists and criminals who pretend to be sick, so as to make you put your hand in your wallet out of pity. We understand this allegation and justify it because evil always exists where we want to see it. And although we may ask you to pray for those who behave like that, more through ignorance than evil, we appeal not to forget the many genuine cases of sickness, starvation, and homelessness that are increasing. We see that in our society, cases of sickness, starvation, homelessness. And even if we just to go to human science, knowing that a majority of people cannot afford an emergency, we're just one emergency away from possibilities like this. And that's why safety nets are important. That's why caring for others is important, because when we care for others, you also expand not only your compassion, and you be courageous to do more for others than for yourself. We also exercise the muscle of empathy, compassion, expand our spiritual relationships. Think about doing something for someone who cannot give you anything back. Then their spirit mentors and spirit friends can be of help to us one day if we need. So there are cases and cases. Of course, everywhere you go on the earth is a mix of spirits in different levels of evolution. So you're going to find those who are taking advantage of the system, but you're also going to find genuine cases that where you and I are called to serve. Accompany the studies being done on those people whose bodies are covered with painful sores, and give thanks for having healthy skin. It's probably talking about some sort of leprosy, eczema, psoriasis, all kinds of diseases of the skin. Your first and largest organ, right, that separates the physical body from the environment. Also very important to perception of the environment with its receptors. And then what you have here is you look at those who are ill. Next time you go to the physician, visualize the spirit mentors of the nurses, of the receptionists, of the physicians, the PAs, the nurse practitioners, all around, inspiring them to do the right diagnosis. Visualize the mentors and guides of those sitting around. And not that you can all go, folks, but look at them and see what kind of ailments people have and give thanks for you not having that. Because then, if you have your physical body in good shape, or with less um, diseases than others, you have more strength, energy, and time to dedicate to help others. And he will continue. Or you follow the life of those who live in mental institutions, suffering anguish and despair, known to those who travel in the abysms of madness or obsessions, in order to value your own tranquil mind. In each you are blessed. So let's look around and find those who suffer, help them while making that comparison. It's very important also to bring this to the children. They are the new generation. They need to be courageous to help others. And when they have a lot, there's nothing lacking. You exercise the muscle of empathy and gratefulness for what everything that you and I have. So let's look outside the box. outside our circle of influence, outside our neighborhoods and our beautiful homes, out to those who are suffering. What else could we do when tedium appears? He says, visit asylums where you can scrap heaps of human suffering, or observe the restrictions imposed on the lives of those who are in poverty, from whom a simple sandwich is a rare moment of pleasure. We do this here in Richmond. We, as volunteers, go to an assisted living facility for the elderly with less financial means. That makes us exercise this muscle of seeing, taking time out of our Saturday mornings once a month. Very small commitment, but very important for us to put everything into perspective. Yes, it's okay to enjoy the things we have. It's okay to have a profession. I have a profession. It's okay to have certain things. I have physical things. I have a camera. I have a microphone. I have a computer. We have the physical book. I have the PDF book as well. It's okay, but can we have less? Can we give more? Can we see how blessed we are? And once we know of these teachings, when we go to the spiritual realm, we have that in our minds. We can use it in any time. Very small, very small commitment for all of us. And there's suffering on the world everywhere, even though in the wealthiest. You might be into the moment of falling, those who live in mental anguish. How many wealthy people we know who are famous, and we have now this new generation trying to be famous, being YouTube stars, Instagram, TikTok, and whatever else we're going to invent. That's what they're looking after. And we see those who we think have everything suffering from mental illness, even to the point that they're suffering so much that they take their lives. So, gratefulness and awareness that we are here to serve, not to, the earth is not a vacation zone. It's not a world, a divine world. It's a world where you're here to repair, to construct, to build, and to love. What else? Many, many things. It says, or or take part in the exercises of longing and pain felt by those who have abandoned by those they most love, in order that you may appreciate the bread on your table and the affection that enriches your days. When this airs, we are in the Advent season. We are preparing for Easter, where we are going to do beautiful activities with the children. And then we talk about gratefulness. What are we thankful for? We also do this here in the US in the Thanksgiving season, but it should be a daily gratitude point. We should follow what's in question 919 on the Spirit's book. And daily do a revision of our day. Thank the things that happened to us so we can learn and to grow, that we have overcome. Also, be thankful for all of the blessings of visible and invisible hands around us, and make amends. If I did something that wasn't quite all right, I can go and redo and redress, reach out to people, so on and so forth. When Tedium seeks you out, go to the school of charity. Emmanuel is saying that. The school of charity. If we all who have a lot give a little bit, the world will be so much different. There will be, if we wanted less, if we're less materialistic, more things, then there will be a little bit more for everyone. And still, we would be able to provide for those who are unable to provide for themselves because of different circumstances. We don't have on the earth yet a system where everybody has the same touchstone, given the same opportunities, given the same nourishment, given the same school opportunities. So we can expect everybody out of nothing to grow in a nourishing environment when the environment is not nourishing. We'll get there. We're getting there. We are opening ourselves up to the possibilities. We are blossoming like a flower and seeing those things more clearly. They need to help others. So when we are bored, when tedium is seeking us out, go to the school of charity. This will awaken you to the pure joys of goodness and will bring enlightenment to your heart. So, releasing you from the darkness, which often comes in the empty hours by the Spirit Emmanuel. When Tedium seeks you out, go to the school of charity. Isn't that a blessed message for today as we go through this first airs on Thursday mornings, but then we can think about Friday, preparing for the weekend, carving out some time to observe around us so that we can, with the blessings we are given by God, with the talents that we have, we can multiply the talents by serving others, not just the ones around us, but everyone in the world, because it's one humanity. We are all equally children of God, different levels of evolution, in our own journey ascending to God. And part of ascending to God means being here, studying the book Courage, psychographed by the Spirit, by various spirits, through the mediumship of Francisco Candido Xavier. Thank you, dear friends, for joining me. God willing, I'll see you again next Thursday morning. Until then, stay well, stay safe, take care of yourself and others, and have a blessed